Hello, and welcome back to our next segment reading of the Asatru Edda. I am Asger Rod Skegg, your narrator, and today in chapter 21, it is entitled Jarl. And this is going to be a document of some of the earlier, more prevalent leaders among mankind history. And this is also the last chapter of the segment called the Gul Alder. So, chapter 21, Jarl. When Jarl was a youth, he won repute among his father's huntsmen by defeating a huge beast. A remarkable incident which foretold the quality of his bravery in the future. He had asked the guardians who were bringing him up conscientiously for permission to go and see the hunting, when he encountered a bear of unusual size. Although weaponless, he managed to bind it with the belt he used to wear and then gave it to his companions to kill. During the same period, he is reputed to have overcome individually many champions of tested courage, among whom Atli and Scott had won renown. Already at 15, he had grown to such a stature that he presented the perfect specimen of manhood, and so forcefully were the proofs of his talent that he was given the name Skaldr, and king of the Danir assumed from him the common title of Skjoldungar, who are the royal family of Denmark. He was also called Danir Mikelati, and from him Denmark took its name. Skjoldr Jarl's boldness then outstripped the full development of his strength, and he fought contests which someone of his tender years would scarcely have been allowed to watch. He would become the leader of the warriors of the Arvangaland. Under the patronage of Rieger Heimdallr, Skjoldr Jarl's duty was to defend Svithjord from the Jotnar of the north, and because of this, he was also called Borgar. Not only was he notable for feats of arms and also in affection for his fatherland, he continued to spread the custom of Heimdallr's holy fire and introduced beneficial laws, earnestly performing anything which could improve his country's condition. He looked after its Jarlard, giving them incomes when they were at home, as well as the booty won from the enemy. For he would maintain that soldiers should have their fill of money and glory go to their leaders. All men's debts were settled from their own treasury, as if he vied with other rulers' courage through his own bounty and generosity. He used to attend to the sick with remedies and bring kindly comforts to persons in deep distress, bearing witness that he had undertaken his people's welfare rather than his own. Where men had abandoned themselves to the emasculated existence, undermining their society by debauchery, he energetically roused them to peruse merit in their active career. So his age and virtue increased. As he had been told, Jarl or Skjoldr was married to Erna, who was also called Drott. She was a daughter of King Danper, who was also called Hersir. One day, two smiths had come to King Dapner's realm, and they each forged a sword for him. The king then destroyed the first sword, called Hvittingr, in capricious trials of the iron's strength and resiliency. The second smith, then angered by this, foretold that his sword, Lysingr, would cause the death of his king's most famous grandson. When Drott's father had reached extreme old age, he learned that his daughter might have been taken from him, so he fashioned a cave and had her placed within, first granting a suitable retinue and providing sustenance for a long period. He also committed to the cave, along with other gear, the sword Lysinger to keep the curse from coming true. and so that his enemy would be unable to use the weapon that he was aware that he could not handle himself. So that the cave should not rise up too obviously, he made it hump level with the solid ground. Skolder Jarl had been struck by Drott's great beauty, so he had messengers go and ask for her hand. The messengers learned that Scott, who is also called Hildur, was also courting her, and Dampnir feared that he was going to steal her away. As soon as he learned that Dampnir's daughter had been shut off in a far-off hiding place, Scott Hildur bent all his wits and energies to finding her. Eventually, while he was personally conducting a search along with others, he half fancied that he could detect a murmuring voice underground. Gradually, working his way nearer, he grew more convinced that it was the sound of a human voice. When he had given orders for the earth beneath their feet to be dug down to solid rock, a cavity was suddenly revealed where he could see a warren of winding passages. The servants who tried to defend the covered entrance were cut to pieces, and the girl dragged out of the hole along with the other prizes which had been stored there, all except the sword Lysinger, for with admirable foresight. Drott had stowed it away in an even more secret place. Hildur Scott compelled her to submit to his lust, and she bore him a son named Hildinger or Hildebrandr, progenitor of the Hildingar. From this, a battle was waged in which Draupnir lost his life. In the meantime, Skolder Jarl, comprehending that Scott Hildur had forcibly taken Dampnir's daughter Drat to his bed, robbed him of his partner and his life, and married Drat himself. His messengers then took her to his home. She was no unwilling bride, so since she considered it proper to take her father's avenger into her arms. While the girl mourned her father, she could not bring herself to submit with any pleasure to his murderer. Jarl reigned long, and in his days were good seasons and peace. His son was the first king, Konungur, in the Danskurtunga. His descendants always afterward considered the title of king in highest dignity. Konr was the first of his family to be called king, for his predecessors had been called Draupnir after his mother, Drott, and their wives would be called Drottingar, and their garter Drott. Each of their race was called Ingvi or Ingvin, and the whole race together the Ingligar. Jarl lived to a very great age before his son Konar succeeded him. It is said that Jarl died in his bed in Uppsalir and was transported to Fyrisvellir, where his body was burned on a riverbank, and where his standing stone still remains. The earliest at in Skodungur was thought to have great wisdom, greater strength, and more influence on the Godin. Thank you very much for sitting in on this next chapter reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please support the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe to catch all of our new videos. And until the next time, thanks for listening in.